Tonight, a local caregiver to the elderly laments the treatment of the island seniors.
We know they're elderlies, but we don't really appreciate them as elderlies.
Minister for Labour Stephenson King intervenes in an industrial impasse between the management of Secure St. Lucia Limited and the National Workers Union, and a call for creativity to underpin the Bacchanal of St. Lucia Carnival. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Monday, the 17th of June, 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9. You can also watch on our website, www.caribbeanhottv.com, or on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. A viral social media video shows a graphic exchange between an elderly man and a young adult. In the video, the elderly man is seen being struck down with a barrage of stones by the young man until he falls to the ground helpless. A local caregiver begs to question the direction that society is headed where the elderly is concerned. Solange Alfred reports.
Warriors of wisdom, the elderly have lived through years of events to pass down knowledge to those just coming into the game. Yet it seems a true appreciation for their lasting ability is often disregarded and goes unappreciated. So says certified supervisor and caregiver at Fair Helen Adult Daycare Center, Chanel Butcher. A viral video allegedly shot in St. Lucia shows an attack on an elderly man where he is left motionless on the ground, bleeding from the head. Butcher says, for many, the video would not spark outrage, but for her, it truly hits home.
I can just picture that as my mom or my dad or my uncle or somebody else. So it's definitely alarming. It's breaking. It's a heartbreaking story. But people that has authority in our society should take more. It's just not a story. It's just not. That should not be just a story right now and stop there. I think we should go forth and do something about it, because this is an elderly. He once served us.
Butcher says more needs to be done in regards to the plight which elderly folk suffer through. She called on the powers that be to raise the level of educational resources available to break the stigma of valueless elderly individuals.
I think the government or whoever in charge or all of us as together as St. Lucian should come together and take more pride in the elderly. We should have more programs. We should educate St. Lucian. Is just not older person, but they're valuable. They value just like we young person or we young person. So I think teach more educational stuff towards elderly and teach the family members. It's just not my mom growing up or just being an older person and being angry every time they do something, but also I realize I use the word of appreciate, because we need to appreciate them, just letting them know that they are special to us.
It is unclear as to what provoked the young man to resort to stoning the elderly man. However, the lack of help given to the elderly by other individuals in the video is a damning sign, says Butcher. She fears the direction society is headed is one that will spiral out of control, where the weak in society become prey to predatory youth. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Minister for Labour Stephenson King has decided to intervene in an industrial matter between the management of Secure St. Lucia Limited and the National Workers Union. This decision was conveyed to the union and the company in a letter dated the 6th of June 2019 from Acting Labour Commissioner Cornelius Jamatis. The parties were informed that the Minister for Labour would be pleased to meet with them on the 26th of June at 4 p.m. at the Department of Labour. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss outstanding industrial matters and chart the way forward for future relations between Secure St. Lucia and the National Workers Union. The St. Lucia Fire Service responded to 79 ambulance calls over the weekend from the 14th to the 17th of June, 70 of which were medical emergencies inclusive of 5 vehicular accidents and 2 physical assaults. Assistant Divisional Officer within the St. Lucia Fire Service Department, David Antoine, takes us through the details of emergency responses, with the first being a motor vehicular accident at BRK1.
On Sunday, June 16th, at approximately 3:40 p.m., fire officers from the BRK1 fire station responded to a motor vehicular accident at BRK1. That incident involved 2 motor cars. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel assessed and treated 2 individuals for severe bodily injuries. They were subsequently transported to the Victoria Hospital for further medical care. The department also responded to 5 fire calls, which consisted of 1 structural, 1 pole, 1 vehicular, and 2 rubbish fires. On Saturday, June 15th, at approximately 6:04 p.m., fire officers from the Castries Fire Station responded to a vehicular fire at Cul-de-sac. That incident involved a motor car which was allegedly stolen. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel were able to quickly extinguish that fire.
Additionally, Antoine provided information on a fire which rendered a wooden structure completely ruined.
On Saturday, June 15th, at approximately 6:38 p.m., fire officers from the Castries Fire Station responded to a structural fire at Ravin Chabot Bocage involving a wooden dwelling. On arrival at the scene, fire officers found a wooden structure that was fully engulfed. They were able to eventually control and subsequently extinguish the fire. As a consequence, the structure was completely destroyed.
The St. Lucia Fire Service continues to urge individuals to make safety a top priority in their everyday life. He is the man behind the band Tribe of 12, aptly named for its depiction of carnival costumes, which stand in stark contrast to the more common, skimpier costumes that now dominate the parade. Band leader Adrian Auger appeared as a guest on the hot seat with Tresha Lionel and made a call for a return to creativity in carnival.
We have an issue where many bands are just not interested in the creative side of the mass. And so for traditional people like me, I want to ask myself, okay, so what is it really about? If it's not about creativity, is it just another party? Well, maybe it is, and maybe that's fine. But for us at Tribe of 12, we feel very strongly that Carnival is a showcase of creativity, of imagination, of art, of enjoyment, of good times, of all of those other things. But underpinning the Bacchanal has to be some rebalancing energy that says, you know what, we're gonna get on bad, but we're gonna get on bad so beautifully you're not gonna be able to say all we did was get on bad.
Auger said he is heartened by support for and participation in the King and the Queen of the bands this year.
We have more than a doubling of the number of costumes in the competition. So I'm hoping that we have created some kind of incentive. On top of that, the subvention to Kings and Queens has finally been reinstated, and so we're expecting that bands who are producing Kings and Queens will actually get a little financial incentive.
The government's subvention is about $2,000 for the King and Queen of the bands. You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. When we come back, an expanded lineup is set for the 3rd annual Roots and Soul Festival. Groovy and Soca Monarch preliminary artists are announced, and the Agriculture Minister says the sector is showing expanded growth, and the review of output of most subsectors shows high level of production. Those stories and more when we return.